Hello and welcome to the premiere episode of Inside Owl Athletics. I'm Justin Mahan. Field hockey head coach Amy Watson has made history. This week she got her 400th career win when the Owls defeated Fitchburg State. The win came in dramatic fashion as the Owls scored the winning goal with 8 seconds left in regulation. This was the look of pure excitement when head coach Amy Watson received her 400th career win. And how it happened, players say, was incredible.
What happened was we got a corner towards the end of the game, and I didn't even know how much time was left. I just knew there wasn't a lot.
Smith says that she saw the ball go toward her, sent it to Nina Bruno, and redirected the pass into the cage.
And as soon as it happened, it was just, we both just big smiles, you know? I mean, we were so happy, and I guess our coach wasn't even realizing that we were about to score.
Coach says that she wasn't even watching the game at that point. Instead, she says she was preparing for the future.
I was actually sitting on the bench at that time, putting together the lineup for overtime. So by that time, I hadn't even thought about win or lose the game. I was already anticipating we'd be in overtime.
Despite the high praise from her players for this milestone, her assistant coaches have had nothing but positive memories with their head coach and have enjoyed coaching alongside her over the years.
It's been an honor working with her for 17 years, and I know the players that have come and gone and usually come back and have lots of positive things to say about the program and how much they've learned from Coach Watson on and off the field.
Coach says that even though this achievement has been looming for a few weeks, she wasn't focused on achieving it.
It's a cool milestone to reach, but you know, when you're coaching, it's really not about, you know, the wins and losses each game. It's about, you know, what's happening with the team and their experience.
We'll hear more from Coach Amy Watson when I sit down with her in studio later on in the show. Field hockey continues their winning streak on the road, defeating the Plymouth State Panthers. After a scoreless first half, Plymouth State took their first and only lead of the game 15 minutes into the second half. With just about 10 minutes remaining, Cassie Smith evened out the playing field with her second goal of the season. For the first time this season, the Owls went into an extra period of play where Jensen Dano scored, leading them to victory. The team looks to continue this positive run as they face Western Connecticut State at the Owl Athletic Complex at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. And the women's soccer team is also on a winning streak after their shutout victory over Westfield State Wednesday night. It was in the 5th minute of play when KSC senior Julia Pearson scored the first and only goal of the game. It was a back-and-forth shooting game for both teams, but it was the goalie efforts from Abby Turinka that kept Keene State's lead throughout the game. The team will travel to Western Connecticut State University on Saturday for the LDC matchup beginning at 1 p.m. While the field hockey and women's soccer teams found success this week, the men's soccer team wasn't so lucky. In Wednesday night's game against Middlebury, the men's soccer program suffered its first loss of the season. Middlebury hit first with a goal in the 6th minute of the game and was able to stop the offensive push from the Owls later on in the first half. It was back and forth play for most of the second half, but it wasn't until about 3 minutes left to play when Middlebury's Drew Goulart scored to extend their lead to 2. Men's soccer looked to get back on track this weekend as they host Western Connecticut State University on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. And the volleyball team continues its undefeated season after they shut out the Worcester State University Lancers Tuesday night. The two teams went back and forth in the first 2 sets, keeping the scoring margin from within a few points. But it wasn't until the 3rd set that Keene kept the upper hand, leading the team 3 sets over Worcester State's 0. Rachel Lamica had 16 kills and 10 digs in Keene's efforts and was joined in double-digit digs by Riley Bunker with 20 and Olivia Matthew with 19. They will be back in action this Saturday, taking on UMass Dartmouth at noon. And the men's and women's cross-country teams have kicked off their seasons. They ran September 16th at the UMass Dartmouth Corsair Cross Country Invitational. The women's team placed 14th out of 40 scoring teams. Kate Lynch paced the Owls with a 43rd place finish in the 5K time of 19 minutes and 35 seconds. Freshman Christina Martin made an impressive debut, finishing 51st with a time of 19:44. The men's team placed 13th out of 40 scoring teams. Freshman Cam Giordano set the pace for the Owls at 26:56, placing 61st in the 8K. Matt Dudley was 69th in 27 minutes and 8 seconds. Both the men's and women's teams will be back in action September 30th at the Owl Athletic Complex for the Keene State Cross Country Invitational. And the Keene State Athletes of the Week have been announced. Junior volleyball Neve Dodd was named Athlete of the Week after racking up 23 kills with no errors in the team's perfect week. Also named Athlete of the Week, senior men's soccer player Riley Steele, earning the title after scoring a goal and adding 2 assists to help keep their record to 3, 1, and 2. While the celebration of her 400th win has come and gone, field hockey head coach Amy Watson is focused on turning the team around in a positive direction. After Tuesday night's win, the team is now on their first winning streak of the season. Here to tell us more about the state of the team and this new offensive spark is field hockey head coach Amy Watson. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Now, we talked a little bit before the interview that really the scoring was only about 1 or 2 goals per game. That's about the average. What are you working on with the team to kind of turn that around and get more, not only shots on goal, but actually getting into the back of the net?
Yeah, we're really trying to practice to simulate the game opportunities. We have been increasing our shots on net, so we have the offensive opportunities. We're just not converting them yet. So we're really trying to make practices get more game-like and more competitive, and hopefully it'll, spill over into the game itself.
Now, you had talked a little bit about the defense stepping up, and actually they're getting better as well. What kind of work have you been doing with the defense to kind of get that going?
We've switched some people around. We've made some personnel changes. We've run people in and out of there at different lengths of time. Trying to, anytime we find a combination that's working, we kind of hang on to it for a little while. We lost so many people off of last year's team that we're still developing the chemistry and trying to find out what works.
I had the opportunity to attend practice the other day, and you were running a running or a sprinting exercise with the team.
Yeah.
What was the whole concept with that?
We were just feeling like overall that teams were beating us to the ball, that their fitness level was higher than ours. So we decided that it's not too late to try to turn that around. So we're again really focusing on practice to try to make it harder and have higher expectations and work on our fitness level. And again, hoping that, in a few weeks that'll make a huge difference during competition.
Now, when you say harder exercises, besides for that, what kind of exercises do you do?
We're just trying to do more game-like running, and incorporating the fitness into the drills themselves with, longer intervals of work with shorter intervals of rest. So, again, just kind of looking what we've been doing and seeing if we can dial it up a notch.
Now, heading into Saturday's game against Western Connecticut State,
Yep.
are there any new preparations that you're doing to kind of take on that team and maybe even increase that the scoring for the team?
Again, we're just going to still keep in practice, creating opportunities to practice what we want to do on Saturday, and we just have to take it game by game. Teams are different this year, but we're different, we know that, so we just have to go after each game and just look to the next game.
Now, one thing that we have noticed was that Jensen came into the season with an injury. She had a couple different playing times throughout the last few games. When could we expect a full return from Jensen, as well as an update with that injury? Are you working around the team to kind of fill that position more, or are you trying to figure out ways to work around her?
Yeah, it would be nice to have her back 100% for sure. We're trying, she's had a knee injury that's been a little bit nagging, and we thought it was better. She worked harder and it got worse, and so we are on a good track, I think, with rehabbing her injury while bringing her back into the fold. But boy, I would hope, by midway through October, we'll get her back at full strength.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today,
Okay.
and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
There are a few key games to highlight in the next week's schedule. The weekend is WestCon weekend as men's and women's soccer and field hockey teams take on Western Connecticut State University. And volleyball looks to continue their undefeated season against Leslie, Rivier, and Clark University. And just a friendly reminder, you can view all Keene State home games on the Owls Athletic page through the Game Day tab. Go to KeeneOwls.com and click Game Day, then Live Broadcasts. Again, that's KeeneOwls.com, Game Day, then Live Broadcasts. That's all for now. I'm Justin Mahan, and I'll be back next week with another edition of Inside Owl Athletics.